Hi, I'm Helen Riley, and my husband and I started this church in 1951, 72 years ago. So it's a long story, and some of it's really good, and some of it's crazy. But my husband had gone to Bible school in Bethany College in California for 3 years, and he'd come home. And the same people that were the cause of my finding the Lord were running the children's home for the Assemblies of God over on Palmer Fish Hook. And during the time that he came home, he went over there to help them. And the man, Ray Cather, said, "Hey, have you ever thought about going to Wasilla? There's no Assembly of God there, none in the valley, but it might be an idea." So they went over to look, and Wasilla was a one-horse town. There was a store and a filling station and a railroad track. But anyway, it became very apparent to Paul that this was it. This is what he was supposed to do, and God was calling him here. Although people said, "Are you crazy? That little town? What? Why?" Anyway, but God gave him the dream, and he was 21, I was 19, and we had just got married, and away we went. We started in the Wasilla Community Hall. May Carter, the gracious lady, gave us the permission to use it. We'd have to bring our own wood and start the fire, clean up from the night before, but that was nothing new to us. We were used to doing with nothing. We were living on the farm that my parents had been as colonists over on Bogart, and we were living in the left-behind little barn, which we made into a little house step by step. We lived there until almost the day that Howard was born in 1959, and we moved in the basement of the now Teen Challenge, our first building. After we got started at the community hall, Brother Cather said, "Have you ever thought about building on a shoestring?" Shoestring? This was new to us. But we started that way. We took up a collection every Sunday. Maybe we had $7, maybe finally we had 50, and he said, "Hey, time to build and get a lot." So we bought the first lot for $50. Then Paul started clearing the land, and by now we had more people coming. At first they said, "Those holy rollers coming to Wasilla?" That was all new to everybody. But over time, they decided we weren't crazy, that we were real people, and that we had something in mind. So he started by digging the footing for the first church, which is now Teen Challenge. As he was digging away, he had a man helping him who said, Brother Riley, if we would stop and just pray that the Lord would make these stones turn into gold, we could hire this all done." He said, "Keep shoveling, Harley, keep shoveling." That was his answer. So on it went, and finally we were in that first building. Finally it got too small. We were then living in the basement of that building, and it got too small, and we had to build on the back, which we had one of the men in the church became the supervisor for that building, and when it was done, it was all finished, all paid for. Now we were starting to outgrow it again, but in the meantime, we were going to build a parsonage. Yes, we had to have a place to live. Living in the basement in 3 of the Sunday school rooms with 3 little kids was getting old, but we made it. So the parsonage was made, and I tell you, there was many, many miracles that happened. God was in it, and when we'd come to the end of a rope, he made that rope longer, and we made it. Different donations came from different places. People came to help. One man came and said, You know, your rafters in this place are not right. This is not good. We said, what can we do? He said, I will come and fix it. He came every day with his lunch pail at 8 o'clock and worked till 5 like he was getting paid. And then I don't know what happened to that family. They were gone. But the roof was fixed. So that's how the things happened. And finally, we were outgrowing everything there. And I have to tell you that twice over, the old building where Teen Challenges was sold, but we always got it back. And then that time, I think Pastor Milt was here by then, and they sold it to Teen Challenge, which made us very happy to know that it was still in God's hands and he was using it for his glory. And even townspeople came up to me many times and said, oh, we're so happy to see that old place all spruced up and so pretty and nice. And we said, yep, we are too. Anyway, so then it came to this building. What a big project. I still remember the day that Paul was going to go to Anchorage and talk to a banker about borrowing $1 million. I thought, okay, that's his dream, and God has told him that, okay. But there's something strange about this story because he's going to borrow a missionary's car that is being stored here in our yard because ours is not working. Is there something wrong with this story? Well, that didn't work out. But it did work out that a Catholic organization back east, New York somewhere, loaned us the money. How strange is that? On it went, and finally, this building was started. We bought 10 acres from the same couple, May Carter and her husband, Pat, and they were happy to sell it to us. They were happy with what we were doing in the community, and 10 acres was purchased. Now the big job of starting another building. $1 million building? Yes, but God sent help, all kinds of help. We also got some help that weren't really help. We had to get rid of them. And then here we were. We had the first part built, all the Sunday school rooms and everything built, and we were holding services in the basement where it's recreational now. But we needed to keep going for this big part. So, though this person that was supposed to be heading this out didn't work out, we had to get rid of them. And God knew the whole story, and Paul called his friend, retired Pastor Dick Rutledge, who had retired and was living in Washington State. He said, Dick, we're in trouble. Can you come and help us do this? He said, Paul, I wouldn't do it for anybody else, but I'll do it for you. So he came, and it was a miracle, absolute miracle to see this place go up. And to me, it's just amazing to see it today and know that it's being used for God's glory, and He is blessing this place and will continue to bless this place. I feel like I was just along for the ride or something. Actually, my husband is the one who had the dream and God's call on him, but I was his helper who did the cooking for people, tell the stories, entertain them, keep them overnight. That was my job, but I enjoyed it. And I'm just thrilled to still be here and see what's going on today. And I so appreciate Pastor Milt and his wife to come and preach the gospel, love the people, just like Paul did. That was his dream. And I know many Sundays I say, he was looking down on you today. Yes, it's a long story, but it has a good ending.
Hi, I'm Pastor Milt Mitchner, the lead pastor here at Summit Worship Center. We have such a rich history, and we're so thankful for Pastor Paul and Pastor Helen and all the work that they've done through the years. They saw great things from the beginning as God began to move on their hearts and they began to reach out and to love the people of Wasilla. That's still the heart of our church. In Matthew chapter 28, verse 19, Jesus says, "Go therefore and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all things that I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age." That's still our heart here at Summit Worship Center. It's not only our heart for our neighbors across the street, for those that we meet on the job or those that we meet walking downtown, but it's our heart for people all over the world. We continue to do missions trips to Pakistan and do great crusades, see thousands of people come to know Jesus. That's our prayer, that's our heart. Right here and around the world, we want people to have an encounter with Jesus that will change their life forever. God bless you.